Good morning. I just want to reiterate one more time that, I know we're all excited to be here today. So I think, as Luis said, if you're with your family, congregate together. If you're not, make sure that you practice social distancing and keep your masks on. So thank you, everyone. Ready?
Good morning, everybody. I'm Bernalillo County Commissioner Steven Michael Quesada. I'd like to welcome everybody for this really great moment in really Bernalillo County and the city of Albuquerque history. This is 29 years in the making to get to today.
So myself and Commissioner Quesada the other day did a video, and I said, I'm so excited about this about 20,000 times. So if I say it today, everybody, has to take a shot of milk when you get home for as many times if I say it. So anyway, hello, I'm Albuquerque City Councilor Clarissa Pena, and we are all excited to be here this morning as we are finally able to break ground on the Route 66 Visitor Center.
So this morning, we are so glad to be joined by many dignitaries and friends of this project, many of whom will be coming up to speak, or they're just going to shovel some dirt, but we want to lay the pipe today. I'm kidding. They will only be here in groups of 10 or less, so we abide by the state health order during this pandemic.
Before we go on, please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. And maybe we start with the moment of silence. It's been a really tough year for the world, the nation, city of Albuquerque. Lots has happened during this past year. In addition to that, people that have lost their lives to, because of the movement of the whole Black Lives Matter and just such a variety of things, and people in our community that we've lost near and dear. We've lost family members to COVID, and, we have other family members still struggling through it. So if we can, for a moment of silence, and then me and Commissioner will start the pledge. Thank you. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I'm going to start by, just giving a few remarks. And I'm trying to figure out what glasses work for me, so if I have to make a shift in between. The Route 66 Visitor Center is poised to be a significant community asset for the city, county, and state that capitalizes on Central Avenue's rich Route 66 heritage, bringing a vibrant amenity and a community asset to a historically underserved part of the city and county. It is envisioned to promote by our local community while also inspiring and promoting Route 66 tourism and special events. Albuquerque has the longest urban stretch of the historic route. It is the only place in the nation where the route crosses itself. And as we near the 100th anniversary of the Mother Road in 2026, the Visitor Center will be ready to welcome its visitors. It's located here on the Southwest Mesa. The area is unique to the rest of the city. Much of the land is part of the Atrisco Land Grant, and it predates the establishment of Albuquerque by 3 years. Yet it has lacked many of the opportunities other areas of the city enjoys. There is an array of reasons we can point to for the lack of investment in the community, from disinvestment, marginalized communities of color, redlining, misperceptions of the area, the massive decline in businesses that occurred when the Interstate 40 was built in the 60s. Faced with these challenges, 29 years ago, neighbors organized economic and social inequities and injustice. At the time, we didn't realize the magnitude of what we'd be embarking on, or that it would be a lifelong journey for most. Throughout the years, some neighbors moved on, then new neighbors became involved, others left, then returned. Some have been active for the duration, and you will see and hear from many of them today. Unfortunately, others have passed on, not seeing the soon-to-be constructed visitor center come to fruition. Pillars in our community like the late Cecilia Romero, Ted Gallegos from La Familia, Louis Tafoya, Robert Hall, Marcos Baca, Robert Avila, Richard Rivas, and our beloved City Councilor Ken Sanchez. Many of the improvements along Central can be attributed to this group of volunteers. From the iconic neon arches along Central, the improvements to the Central Bridge, the observation overlooks, the fire station, the library, the Ted M. Gallegos Center, the redevelopment of many areas that have been blights in the community, even the banners that now adorn West Central. Their decades-long efforts are why we are here today. The idea and recommendation for a visitor center is expressed in several plans. The West Route Sector Development Plan, West Side Strategic Plan, the Interstate Corridor Enhancement Plan, dated 2000. But the earliest documented discussions found surrounding the need for a visitor center is dated June 22nd, 1992, by the Route 66 Citizen Task Force led by the City of Albuquerque. The meeting minutes reflect the community's desire to look at opportunities for West Central, and much of the discussion is the idea of how a visitor center on the crest of 9 Mile Hill could be a catalyst to turn the area around by enticing travelers off the interstate who could then provide a market for tourist-oriented business on Central. It goes on to say the center should be an area landmark that contains indoor and outdoor dining, art spaces, a gift shop, an observation area taking advantage of the city's beautiful views. With an amphitheater, it should be large enough to accommodate concerts, car shows, RV parking, and there should be banners along West Central. It concludes by saying the establishment of a visitor center on 9 Mile Hill and an amphitheater would create a magnificent gateway to Albuquerque and would provide anchors to create business along West Central, which would both attract tourists down Central and into the city and attract residents from other areas of the city to the west side. These two projects should be strongly supported along with the Route 66 signage and banners as the most tangible catalyst for revitalization of West Route 66. Sound familiar? And this was 1992, and we are breaking ground 29 years later. It seems as though this struggle to ensure our area receives equity and the investment it deserves has always been an uphill battle. But today, that all changes.
So through that battle and through our advocacy, not only from the elected officials standing behind me and the ones that came before us, is brought us on this path and got us to where we are today. We all know that up here on 9 Mile Hill, we are not sprawl up here. They call it 9 Mile Hill because we're 9 miles from the center of the city of Albuquerque. I get that people on the other side of the river would say, why are you going to go way up there? We get that because we say the same thing when we have to go to Tramway. We understand that. But what we're trying to do here and what we believe this visitor center will do for the west side and especially the southwest side of Bernalillo County and the city of Albuquerque is to create opportunity. I'm going to steal a line from our prior great county commissioner, Art de la Cruz, who said, what we're looking for is economic justice. Economic justice is the flag that I picked up after Commissioner de la Cruz set it down to move on and enjoy the rest of his life. So I picked up that flag and said, that's important to me. When 80% of the people work on the other side of the river that live over here, there's something systemically wrong with that. We believe that when we can get projects like this done and that we can prove that economic development is not only feasible, but it's going to be crucial and critical to the success of the people who live in the Southwest Mesa and on the west side. Now, people will argue with me saying the west side is developed over there at Cottonwood Mall. Well, I've lived here 56 years. That's not the west side. That's the far northwest side. The west side is where you're standing here today, and this is what we feel is crucial to the development. And this is the good news. We believe if we do things right, if we put in the proper infrastructure, because we definitely have the right community leaders standing behind me to make things happen for our community up here. They're standing here now. We have the right people in place right now to make things happen for us here. So, I just wanted to let everybody know we're excited about being here. We're excited about moving forward. And our promise to you is we are going to make a commitment from this day forward to do it right for the west side. It's going to happen. So, the Route 66 Visitor Center, as I said, has been a long time coming. The cost of the construction of the project, including tax, because we got to throw in tax, is $10.3 million of an investment to the Southwest Mesa.
Phase 1 of the construction includes a 21,000 square foot museum, assembly space, catering kitchen, tap room, office space, outdoor amphitheater, parking, and landscaping.
The design consultant for this project is Mullen Heller Architecture, and Enterpriser Builders is the construction contractor. The construction will be a 405 calendar day schedule, a little over 13 months.
So we're pleased to have our speakers with us this morning. Everyone who will be speaking this morning is not behind us. We're bringing them in groups of 10, so just bear with us as we practice social distancing. As we break and make a transition, we have a special message from Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham. But the first speaker we have this morning, or is it afternoon already? So this morning we have is a gentleman who, has been in his first term. He, of course, everybody knows how I am. I'm always, on everybody about the west side, the southwest side, and how that we lack need in our area. And I just want to say that I'm really happy and I'm pleased to say that, Mayor Tim Keller has always been there. Anytime I've asked for anything, he is really on it. I know I joke with him that, he's the Anglo guy, but he really understands the needs of the people, community of color. He actually was very close friends with one of our community members, Marcos Baca, who passed away. So I tease him and tell him that he used to hang around with all the Chicanos and the lowriders, so that's why he understands our needs. So with that, I want to welcome Mayor Tim Keller.
All right, well, good morning, everybody, and it is wonderful to be here together with all of you on an outstanding, Albuquerque spring morning. And first, let me just, I can't say enough about the folks who have we'll use car road terms for this, but have driven this project to fruition from, not only that 30-year history, but I think also in the last couple of years. And so I just want to begin by thanking, the West Side and the city of Albuquerque has some incredible representation. They are your counselor, your county commissioner, and they fight for the West Side and the Southwest Side like literally almost hourly with me, which is awesome. And so let's give, for everyone who, I know the cameras can't see, but let's just say thank you to Commissioner Quesada, Councilor Pena. Congratulations. outstanding job making this finally a reality. And it's true, they have taught me so much about the Southwest Mesa, the West Side. I had 4 years in high school out here, so I have a dash of West Side cred. But and I also want to mention, I know their names were mentioned before, but you know, there were some people who this project was very dear to their heart, and so they're not with us today, but in person. But I know they're with us in spirit, and I know that there's no doubt in my mind that folks like Ken and Marcos are looking down with big smiles right now. And we miss them, as well as the other folks who've passed on. Now, 10 years ago, I was trying to figure out the math. My story started 10 years ago on this project, and we were all in different places in our lives. I was a freshman senator representing the International District up in the Roundhouse. I think Commissioner De La Cruz was commissioner. Councilor Pena was neighborhood leader Pena. And, you know, we were all in these sort of different things. And what happened is basically Art De La Cruz and Clarissa Pena and Johnny came to my office and a few others. I think Marcos was there too. And they were like, we want to talk to you about a Route 66 Visitor Center. And I was like, awesome, this is great, because my district was Route 66, of course, on the east side. And then they told me about the west side. And, you know, it's rare, I think, when legislators will put money into projects that aren't in their district, because, you know, you want to kind of help your district. This was one that I believed 10 years ago. I said, this is what our city needs. And so I put some of our district money in there. I remember explaining this to other folks in my community, and they agreed. They said, it doesn't matter where it goes. We have to have a Route 66 Visitor Center. And so amazingly, 10 years later, we're finally going to spend that money. And so, which is a good segue into, I just also want to thank our legislators. They're here after the day after the session, right? None of them have slept. They don't even know maybe why they're here. They're delirious. They're exhausted. They worked incredibly hard. And I know we're here to talk about the Route 66 Center, so I won't go into all their accomplishments, but I just know during COVID and during all the contentious issues, thank you also for being here today, but thank you for remembering this project amidst all the challenges that you had to deal with at this session. Now, I think let me just wrap things up by saying this project is part of revitalizing Route 66. And I remember since the day I got back involved in public service, everyone would always say, why don't we do more for Route 66? This is one of the most common needs that come up over and over in all of central New Mexico. And we've done a lot. Clarissa mentioned some of those signature projects. There's also a complete redesign of placemaking at Central and Unser. There's a new community center kind of right over there, just off Route 66, but in Westgate. There's also a giant other new library, you know, of course, at the old Caravan East, which is now going to be a library to match and mirror kind of what's out on the west side. And there's even another community center way up on Tramway. And so the point is, even the landscaping in between, the lighting in between, the banners in between, all of the things that we are doing to really reflect the Mother Road concept. This is a road that is part of our modern story in Albuquerque. And in many ways, it is a road that brought together a centuries-long history, right? That long history of our communities. First, the Native American communities that were here that used this very route as a trade route through the Sandia Mountains and off over into Navajo country. This was originally, that was the path that intersected with the river. And then, of course, we see it intersecting with Camino Real in our territorial days, in our Spanish colonial days. And then Route 66 when we get to the 1900s. And that's also where we see this awesome blending of cultures. We see that car culture, that Route 66 1950s kind of culture blending with the car clubs, which I'm great to see out here. This is going to finally be also the Lowrider Museum that we always wanted. That's right. And that is such a wonderful representation of all of that coming together, all that makes us Burque right here at the Route 66 Center. And then you added a brewery just to make it extra fun. That's what this is going to be. That's why I'm excited about it. Thank you so much for making this happen. And I'm so excited to be here in 14 months to enjoy it all with all of Albuquerque and central New Mexico, Bernalillo County. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mayor. Now I'd like to introduce our great State Senator, Linda Lopez.
Buenos días, ¿cómo están? Where's the energy this morning? We haven't had our cafecito yet, right? Usually during session, I end up drinking about 5 cups. My cup is this size just to get me going every morning, so I'm still lacking 4 more. First of all, I want to say thank you to our leadership, our county commissioner, our city councilor, and of course, Mayor Tim Keller. Also, for our past county commissioners, we have Art de la Cruz, we have Steve Gallegos, and the list will continue back. I've been a state senator now for 25 years, honored to represent our community in Santa Fe. And some of the first stories in lobbying that I had back in the day was, what are we going to do about the West Side? What are we going to do about this Route 66 Center? I still remember the conversations and trying to figure out how I could help in Santa Fe with some of the capital outlay dollars, which is so integral for our communities and here in our area of the city and the county. So where do we go from here? I know I've heard a lot of folks say, well, that's on the West Side. It's still part of me, of that messaging that we have to take out, and saying once this building is here, it's going to be utilized and it's going to be the pride of our community. This is where we're going to have some good pachangas. We're going to have some good celebrations of anything you can think of, because this is going to revitalize this part of our community. It will be utilized. So I know I've heard some of the negativity. Well, let's stop it. Because when we talk about what people say about our community, they don't even know us. They don't know who we are. This is going to be another one of those shining stars as we continue to revitalize and working with our city councilor, county commissioner, and of course our mayor. I'm proud to be here today, and I want to say thank you to each of you who have done the work. It's your vision. I'm only here to help see it through. And I appreciate the memories of what you mentioned, Counselor, of those who were here before us. I know their spirits are still here celebrating. They're saying, going on and continue. But we have many of you that I see here that you have led me and brought me to this point, and I appreciate and will continue to help in any way that we can from Santa Fe, but also too that I can work with our elected leaders here from Albuquerque and Bernalillo County, because that's what we do. We work together to make sure our community is right on. So muchísimas gracias por esta oportunidad, and I'm ready to party. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. She's always been there for us, and I don't know if I should be saying this, but, I just know last year we were coming up kind of short, and the Senator contributed $1 million from her capital outlay. So thank you, Senator. Before I introduce our next speaker, I just want to introduce a few people that couldn't be here today and that wanted to be here. I first want to start out with Chris and Jeanette Baca. With Chris Baca and YDI, they were really an instrument to help us, get to where we are today. So I really appreciate him. Jeanette was one of the first community leaders. She actually encouraged me to get involved. And they haven't seen their grandson in a year because of COVID, and they got him today. So they couldn't be here. Then I just want to thank Commissioner Debbie O'Malley, Senator Jacob Candelaria. He just actually gave during this session $500,000. He's anxious for phase 2. And then Representative Maestas, he's been a supporter and advocate during this whole time, constantly helping, and he actually gave us a substantial amount this session as well. So with that, the next person I want to introduce is that we fight like brothers and sisters, but all I can tell you is that this man is one of the hardest working persons in the on the West Side, Senator Michael Padilla.
Okay. Good morning, West Side. Okay, that's about as much energy as you're going to get out of me. Senator Lopez and I, we probably have slept about 4 hours between the two of us in the last 24 hours, and in the last 60 days, maybe about 50 hours. But I have to tell you, I couldn't be more proud and more excited and thrilled to be here right now. I tried to comb my hair this morning. I hope it worked out okay, because I wasn't going to miss this event. I have to tell you that I want to thank Councilor Peña and Commissioner Quesada and Mayor Keller and all of the other leaders that have helped to bring this together. They moved this event to make sure that we could get here. So thank you very much for doing that. And thank you very much for never dropping the ball and never stopping and making sure that the West Side is represented like any other part of New Mexico. Let's give them another hand, everybody. Thank you so much. You know, if you were to turn around right now, I'm a politician. I don't want you to take your eyes off of me, obviously. But if you were to turn around, can you imagine the beauty of having a quinceañera here, a wedding, a bat mitzvah, or whatever it is, a graduation party? You're going to turn around at dusk and you're going to see the beautiful Sandia Mountains. When night sets in, you're going to see the beautiful city lights here in Albuquerque. They're going to be the most beautiful views that you can imagine. This particular site right here, right now, where we're standing right now, is going to become the center of Route 66. And that's a very beautiful thing. And we're going to always be able to say that we were the first ones to memorialize and make sure that Route 66 is always a part of all of our lives. You're going to see people from all over the world show up here because they want to be at the center of Route 66. That's exactly what we're going to get out of this place. I'm so excited. I have to tell you that we just finished Esque, as we say on the west side, right? Esque. We finished the legislative session. We're going to go in about 2 weeks, and we're going to work on cannabis. Do you want us to work on cannabis up in Santa Fe? It's 6 1/2 right now, 50-50 whether it gets done or not. But something tells me that at the Roundhouse we're going to have a bunch of munchies going on up there trying to get this thing done. But the other thing that we have to be really careful about when we look at a place like this is that we take care of it, that we continue to improve it, and that we continue to make it for its intended purpose. What we're going to get out of this is economic development for the West Side. You see telehealth and healthcare coming to the West Side in bigger ways. You see higher education coming to the West Side. And it's because of projects like this. It's going to bring people to a place that maybe they never thought about going to the end of Albuquerque like this. And the only way that Albuquerque can grow and that this part of New Mexico can grow is west. So this is the right time at the right place and the right project to be supporting and to get done. So I'm going to stop talking now because I'm a little tired. I might say something I don't mean. But I just have to say thank you to everybody that has made this happen. These things start with an idea in a room with a couple of vecinos just talking and saying, hey, we should do something for our community. And look at where we are right now. This is going to be a beautiful thing, a capstone for the West Side. So thank you all very much. God bless you. Let's take care of this thing. Let's lift it up. Let's make it a part of all of our lives. Thank you all very much.
He's the greatest little brother I have.
So right now, I'd like to introduce one of our new county commissioners, one of our new champions at the county, Commissioner Barboa.
Can I take off my mask? Okay. Thank you. What an honor, right, to be here. I remember years ago, probably 20 years ago, sitting in a room with Clarissa Peña as SWAN leader for the Southwest neighborhoods and talking about West Central. I remember being a kid, driving up and down West Central with such pride and connecting to our families and communities. I remember coming to my family's house on this side of town from my house on the southeast side of town and just feeling that when you cross that river, when you see our communities, when you see the roots and culture. I remember almost being envious of what I was missing when I wasn't at my grandma's house here on the southwest side. And I would be remiss to not recognize that this is Tewa land, right? This Tewa land, and this route was pathed originally by folks making it the best, safest route to travel, to trade. And then El Camino Real, right? Our ancestors traveled this land. It was an economic staple for our communities. So this route is not new, and sometimes along the path it's been ignored and maybe not valued as much as we thought, and even sometimes criminalized. But for me and for our folks in this community, it is a beautiful place that we are proud to be on, that we have always been proud, no matter what anyone says of us. So this marker, this celebration, this place can ensure that our future generations can continue to fill that marker of all the decades, centuries of people crossing through this place to make our Purque, our beloved Bernalillo County, an economic staple for our communities, a place where we can hold our heads proud with dignity. And I'm excited for what our future, for what my kids and grandkids will be able to experience coming to this beautiful place. Like I said, we are a proud people, and this is for us. This is yours, community. This is yours, gente. And we are so ready to celebrate and be in this beautiful space that all of our ancestors have paved for us. Thank you, County Commissioner Quesada and Councilor Peña, for creating this beautiful opportunity.
So I'm going to skip around from an elected official right now, and I just want to introduce a special guest that we have here, one of several that we have here today. This person, as you know, the West Central Community Development Group is an all-volunteer board. Everything that we're talking about, everything that's led us up to today is people that have just donated their time, coming, you know, raising their families, taking a few hours out of their day, month, just to be part of creating change in our community. And so, you know, we're always looking for expertise and people who, you know, that are just as passionate about what we're trying to do in this area of town. And I had the good fortune of meeting Carlos Garcia with Garcia Automotive Group. And I asked him, I didn't know what he would say. I was nervous about asking him. I just said, you know, what would this guy want to do on this side of town? And so I just, like I always do, I ask everybody or shake everybody down, you know. But anyway, I said, you know, I would really love for you to be part of the West Central Group, consider becoming a member. And, you know, it didn't take but that. And he said, absolutely. And he's actually adopting the sign graveyard. So with that, I'd like to introduce Mr. Carlos Garcia.
Good morning, everybody. On behalf of the Garcia family, we're just so excited to be part of this project, even though I've been serving on the board as an individual. I think my family is really excited about this project and everything that it entails. And I'm probably the newest person to this, and everybody here has been involved for a lot longer than I have. But I can tell you from all the groups and boards and organizations that I work with on a daily basis, this group is by far the most passionate of any that I work with in the city. And that's, as a board member, is really special because it's just infectious, and it's a group of people that really live here. And I only grew up a couple miles from here, but people that are in this area, they love it. They're so passionate, and they never, ever gave up, and they persevered to make this thing happen. And from the top with the elected leadership all the way down to people just doing any bit of volunteering, it really is a great community. And I think the tie-in with Route 66 is just fantastic. I can't wait to see what it's going to be. And I really think today is just a great day for Albuquerque, and it shows what we can do when everybody comes together and works together and forgets all the political craziness and everything out there. It just shows what can happen when we come together as a community. And this is just a great statement for the city and really for the Southwest Mesa in particular. And I'm very proud to be a part of it and to get to work with all of you on this. And I hope we'll be here in 13 months enjoying the new space. Thanks.
Now I'd like to introduce our another great community leader on the west side, our city councilor, Cynthia Borrego.
Well, hello everyone and happy spring. Yesterday was the first day of spring and what a great day to be out here on the what I consider spring weekend. I want to thank all of our elected officials who are here, especially Commissioner Quesada and Clarissa Pena and the mayor and our wonderful legislators that are here today. I'm going to tell you a little story about a little girl who grew up in Espanola and moved to Albuquerque many years ago, and was told when I was at the university, don't go west of the river. And when I was at UNM, I kind of believed that for a while until we started cruising Central Avenue. And having grown up in Espanola, I mean, obviously we were cruising the streets of Espanola. And when I came to the west side, I learned a whole new way of life that was so similar to the way that I grew up north. People that had pride, people that had our heritage, obviously, and that appreciated this beautiful land and you know, a way of life that New Mexico, only New Mexico has to offer. And lo and behold, you know, as I moved around Albuquerque and lived in many, many different parts of the city, eventually I ended up being our senadora's neighbor just down the street over here on 86th. And there's this funny story because my dog and her dog, but I won't go there. Anyway, my brother lived right up here behind the fire station, right over here off of 118th Street. And having worked for the city as a city planner for almost 30 years, you know, I was honored to eventually work in the redevelopment office. And we worked in all of these inner city neighborhoods. And I was really excited when I came to work with Clarissa. And boy, talk about a mover and a shaker. You know, it's like, I wasn't counselor then. I was, you know, the redevelopment official. And we were working on West Central, on Unser and Central, working on the redevelopment plan up here. And at that time, Mayor, and I have to say this to you, we had a vision that we would have gateways at every area of Albuquerque, north, south, east, and west. And today marks that gateway for the southwest area. At Tramway, we have that park as you go out of Albuquerque, and you've all seen it out there. We still need to work on our north-south, Mayor. That's why I mentioned that to you. But this is a something that, and I was talking to the counselor and explaining to her about the gateways, and I know that she and Commissioner Quesada have had to fight some of that rhetoric that for some reason has followed you know, certain cultures around, and now we're overcoming that. And I saw the other day something with, you know, Black Lives Matter, and it was "We Shall Overcome," and they sang a beautiful song that said "We shall overcome." Well, today is your day, folks. You have overcome. And that gateway for Route 66, which spans the entire length of Albuquerque and even into the East Mountain area and across our country, this is the day that we have overcome. So with that, thank you all, and excited about this day. And thank you to our leaders that are sitting behind us. And I look forward to that day when hopefully it'll be another spring day when we will be actually breaking ground. And Clarissa, thank you for your standing up to the negative rhetoric.
Thank you, Council President. The next person I want to introduce is, it's been a tough year. The beginning of the year started off with losing, our beloved City Councilor, Ken Sanchez. And then Mayor Keller soon thereafter appointed Councilor Sena. And obviously, Ken and I used to tag team, and our districts butt each other. And prior to that, I was always kind of harassing him in terms of, same issues about the inequities in our area of town. But I just want to say that, the mayor could have selected a better person. I was going to say young lady, but that's not appropriate. This woman has been a firecracker, and I really appreciate everything that she's done and what she stands for. Councilor Sena.
Thank you, Councilor Pena, and I will take a compliment of being called young any day. As Councilor Pena was noting, I'm Councilor Lansana. This conversation may even predate, or is almost as old as myself, speaking of young. But this conversation of having this place here, I say place because I'll touch on that in a bit. But really, this conversation has been going on. This fight has been going on for so long. And as Commissioner Quesada noted, that sometimes these conversations are done and people plant these flags in noting that it is a fight of economic justice, that it is so much more than this conversation of a place. And for me, that anchor was not just our late Councilor Ken Sanchez, but the community members. They have been the anchors that have started this conversation, and all of us behind us and those coming before us will really pick up those flags and continue running, which I feel like many of us have done today. So I say places because when I first asked about just an update of the Visitor Center, my staff noted that this isn't just a Route 66 Visitor Center, that in conversation of planning, community said that this is really a place of the heart. And I say that because so many of us have been fighting with all of our hearts for exactly this, for equities, to us to address economic justice, and how long we have just been in this conversation. As Councilor Pena noted, that this area predates the city, and yet it still lacks some of the basic infrastructure. And I believe that the Route 66 Visitor Center will be just that. It is an anchor. It is this catalyst that will really spark us to think through what we are committing our investments to. So I was proud to commit $1 million in quarter-cent trans tax to think through West Central and commit to that infrastructure. And I'll continue to fight for that storm drainage, for pedestrian lighting, for some of the basic infrastructure that we have lacked for so long. So I just want to thank Councilor Pena, Commissioner Quesada, and our late Councilor Ken Sanchez for really committing through this, and really for our community of continuing to be that anchor, to hold us down, to really think of this as a place of the heart, and so that so many more of our communities can have more memories that really will reside in their hearts. So thank you again for having me, and I look forward to continuing to fight for this area.
All right, our next speaker is, I'd like to introduce to you Luis Hernandez.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner. And thank you all, everybody that is here with us in attendance today. My name is Luis Hernandez. I'm the Executive Director of the West Central Community Development Group. We've been named as the operator of the building that is right behind us. And I hope you guys can see it. If you can, there's some nice banners right here that are going to showcase what it's going to look like. Thanks to Mullen Heller. Beautiful project here. But what I want to talk about today is I want to talk about the West Central Group. Many of you are familiar with who we are, what we do. For those of you who are not, our mission is simple, and that is to revitalize the West Central Corridor. And we go about that in a couple of different ways, but what I really want to talk about today is two things. One of them is investment, and the other one is commitment, right? And when I talk about that, with all the folks behind us, specifically Councilor Pena, Commissioner Quesada, our entire board of directors. And let me tell you, this is an all-volunteer board. Johnny Pena, Geraldine Ulibarri, Michelle Luna, Twyla McComb, House, all the lowriders that you see out there. He arranged that for us there. Mr. Carlos Garcia, who happens to be our tallest board member. Mr. Joe Chavez, who is our best-looking board member. Mr. Steve Maestas, who is in competition with Joe Chavez. We've got folks like Al Otero, Harry Relkin, Eloy Padilla, and it's important for you guys to know we've got some real strong community members like Al and Susan Unser, who have been a staple on the Route 66 corridor and a staple here in the community for years. And it's this group that has committed to this project. They've committed their time, their energy. They've invested. These are people that are from the neighborhood that have a fire and a desire for something better than what has been the norm for so many years. And so with that, I just want to thank you guys, and I want to invite you guys to come visit us at the West Central, find out a little bit more about what we do and how you guys can get involved as we move into the next phase of development here and in real investment here on the west side. But come and visit with us. We like to get you guys involved at some level, whether it's helping Jerry and I clean the bathrooms, or if it's helping us put on some of the best pachangas. Is that right, Vecina? Right here in this place. Thank you.
Thank you, Luis. And if you need to know where it is, it's right across the street from the ski high. See, now everybody knows where it's at, no? That's bad. That's not, you shouldn't be happy about that. You shouldn't be, don't cheer for that. Okay, and before I introduce our next speaker, I just want to, I'm looking out in the audience, and I just want to thank and introduce to you all Abe Torres, who is with the New Mexico Hispanic Music Hall of Fame. He's back there, he's waving his hand. He also sits on the Bernalillo County Arts Board, but we are also partnering with the New Mexico Hispano Music, or just the New Mexico Hall of Fame, right? You don't have to be Hispanic. We celebrate all musicians out of New Mexico, and they have a Hall of Fame, and so we're going to incorporate that also into our phase one building. But so that's why he's here today. Thank you, Abe, for showing up, doing that support for us. So moving on, I'd like to introduce to you a man who doesn't really need a whole lot of introduction, Mr. Johnny Pena.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Commissioner, for that nice introduction. I'm not going to take any very little time from you guys. I just want to thank you all for being here this morning on this beautiful morning to help us celebrate a vision and a dream that we've had for over 30 years. You know, it's documented 29, but we were talking about this beforehand because we had to get creative on how we were going to spur that economic growth. And here we are today, and it's a day of thanking, and I want to thank these folks behind me. Without them, this wouldn't be happening. But in particular, I want to thank the West Central Group. Luis mentioned them all, including Becky Davis, but they are a great group of folks, and these folks are giving up their time and their energy to make sure that we improve the quality of life for the folks in this community. And that's what it's all about. We deserve quality of life like the rest of the city. So therefore, thank you, folks. Thank you, everybody, for being here. And go Route 66 Visitor Center. Thank you, folks.
See, Johnny. Okay, so as you know, this is going to work. We have A, B, and C groups, right? So what we're going to do now is with the people behind us, we're going to do a ceremonial digging a hole.
Yeah.
Are we going to? Can we dig a trench so we can lay? Okay, they're not going to let me lay pipe. We're going to do that first, and then we're going to have some more speakers come up because there's been so many people involved in this project that we can't do it all in one whack. And because of, COVID restrictions, we had to do it in phases. So right now, if everybody could stand up and grab a shovel next to your chair, and we will do the first round of Group A on the groundbreaking event. Oh, you're going to move this? Oh, okay.
Okay. I just want to say real quick, as we're making the transition, viewers at home will be able to listen to the wonderful announcement from our Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham.
Okay, we're going to start at 100, 99. Actually, we're going to start at 66. Yes, Mr. Mayor. All right. 65, 60. All right, everybody, here we go. A historic moment on the west side. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good morning. I'm Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham. It is my honor to join you all as we celebrate the groundbreaking of the Route 66 Visitor Center at 9 Mile Hill. I would like to take a moment to thank Councilor Pena for her generous invitation to speak with you today. The Visitor Center is the result of years of advocacy and engagement from New Mexicans who truly care about their communities and our shared history. I'm proud that the state of New Mexico worked with our partners in Bernalillo County and the city of Albuquerque to invest in this center and in the greater West Side. The Route 66 Visitor Center will draw New Mexicans and tourists alike to share in the unique history of Albuquerque and all of New Mexico's Route 66 communities from Tucumcari to Gallup. This center will work to inform people about New Mexico's unique heritage while bringing economic opportunity to working families in Albuquerque. This is exactly the sort of community investment that we will continue to seek out. Thank you so much for having me today, and I look forward to celebrating with you in person very soon.
Only you, bro. You and my wife, and she only knows me because she has to yell at me a lot to do shit.
I can yell at you if you want.
It'll make me feel at home.
Well, then, there you go.
Okay, as we're transitioning, are we ready? We're ready? Thank you. As we're transitioning, I just wanted to mention a couple of folks. I know our executive director, I'm actually saying Luis Tafoya, so he must be here today. That's what I'm saying. Anyway, that was strange. Anyway, Luis Hernandez was mentioning the answers, and we just really, they couldn't be here today, but just want to really thank them also. They're just so incredible. They're board members. Susan and Al have been outside of the board. They've been volunteering over the years for the entire time. Obviously, people know that they live in the area. But I just wanted to make a really quick announcement about another partner that we're going to be including as part of this. And I don't know if anyone knows or heard of Leopold Garcia. He actually is a car designer for, I do this every single time. It was a car designer. Anyway, he passed away, and his dream was to ensure that his prototypes, two of his prototypes would stay here in New Mexico. His family is moving to Texas, and they're going to put on loan 2 cars from the city car collection. And I can show this or give it to the media later, but these are just some amazing vehicles that were designed and are actually going to be part of the visitor center. So I want to thank the Garcia family, and obviously this is going to be a great addition to the visitor center. So with that, I think we're ready.
Thank you. That looked like a smart car.
Yeah.
What year did he design that? Do you know?
I'm not sure.
It had like fins, like a 57 Chevy, but it was as small as a smart car. So they created the smart car back when they were smart. I don't know. That was pretty cool. All right, so let's get going. It's my honor to introduce our next speaker. He's a great community leader. He's a past county commissioner. He's a past state representative. I'm his predecessor, I guess is the way you would say that. He's taught me a lot. He really cares about this community. He was somebody definitely to look up to as somebody moving forward in this job. Please put your hands together for Mr. Art de la Cruz.
Thank you, Commissioner. Love you. Thank you, Commissioner Peña, for giving me a moment with everyone here today. But before I say a word, and it's going to be brief, I need to introduce my boss, Annette, also CNN board member. Please put your hands together for her. Ladies and gentlemen, it takes community to create the best in community. And that's exactly what this project is. Everybody behind me and the folks that spoke earlier are elected officials at the local level, at the state level. They are that community that is helping to bring the best for community here at this location. And so with that, thank you all for being here. I am honored that I had a small hand in helping this to be a reality. And folks, I can't wait to be here when it's all done with all of you. Thank you.
That's on me. I'm not marking my script correctly. Our next guest to speak is, I'm telling you, is a huge member and reason why the communities that we come from are starting to thrive. that jobs are coming into our communities when we're talking about Las Estancias and the South Valley and how development is going to start coming up West Central. It's funny because I think I'm a smart vato, right? And I'll come up with an idea and I'll call him up and I go, hey, bro, I just came up with a really great idea. He goes, I'm already working on that. Or I've been doing that for 2-3 years. He is well known in this community as a developer, a local developer. Please, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Mr. Steve Maestas.
Thank you, Commissioner, and good morning to each of you. You know, it's interesting. I looked at the building plans, the elevations, the function, the design of this structure that we are all celebrating today, and no doubt it is impressive. It will stand out along this corridor, and it was very well thought out. But as I'm listening to everybody, I don't think that's what's really most important and what's really most impressive. What's most important and what's most impressive is what this community has done for the last 30 years. And you've heard many of the people before me talk about this, but I'm reminded of a cultural anthropologist by the name of Margaret Mead, who said, never underestimate if a small group of thoughtful citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. And while we may not change the world, we are going to change our world. And I think that's a pretty special thing. Congratulations to each of you.
So the next few people I want to talk about, one young lady couldn't be here this morning to celebrate with us. She had something come up. But I want to talk about Nancy Montano, Cherise Quesada, and Michelle Luna. You know, advocating in Santa Fe takes a lot, right? And these ladies, although a couple of them have been my policy analyst, on their spare time, they have volunteered as well. They have made that same commitment to our community. And I just really want to say, if it wasn't for them, we actually wouldn't probably have received the dollars that we did, because they're the ones that helped and went to Santa Fe and followed up and make sure to do the follow-up calls and do everything necessary. So I just want to say how much I appreciate Ms. Cherise Quesada. She's also the wife too, obviously everyone knows, to county commissioner. You know, and it's interesting because everybody says, well, you know, that's the commissioner's wife. We all live in this community. We're all from this community. We all have like 110,000 family members each, you know, so it's just part of our history and part of our culture. So I just want to say that, you know, I really appreciate you, Cherise, everything you did. You worked so hard and tirelessly, and she's just an amazing individual. The next person I want to bring up to speak is Nancy Montano. She is actually, on her volunteer time, a past West Central Community Development executive director and board member in the past. And I just want to say, when I'm kind of transposing all these titles, what happens with us is that once one person gets tired in the community and someone else comes in, we just transfer the title. And then when they get rested, we give them the title back. So I just want to introduce Miss Nancy Montano.
So how about this is think big, right? That's this has been our mantra for over 20 years. Think big about how we were going to revitalize West Central. Our community provided their vision and their dreams on how to do that into a place where we can work and play. For those of us who grew up along West Central, we remember when stores, restaurants, and theaters moved east and east and east, leaving us on this side of town with few options for work and entertainment. This groundbreaking is a testament to the hard work that our community members put in to make our dreams a reality. This visitor center is proof that despite the obstacles placed in our way, we have and will continue to think big as we continue to create more spaces for visitors and residents alike to learn about our unique history, culture, and landscape. Thank you, and remember to think big.
And just to add to my earlier comments, I talked to Charisse the other day, and she actually, before this, I mean, she was involved in her community, but not at the level she is. And now that she's no longer my analyst, she's actually really gotten involved in her neighborhood association and become the president of her neighborhood association. She goes, this community work is infectious and it's contagious. So with that, the next person I want to introduce is Mr. Joe Chavez. Really appreciate him for all his hard work in the community, and Joe has been one of the person who has been a driver in terms of lots of the ideas that we've had moving forward. Mr. Joe Chavez.
Thank you, Clarissa. I just want to thank some people right out front. And to me, these are the mother and the father of this project, and that's Johnny and Clarissa Pena. Yeah, worked so hard. And of course, the commissioners, Commissioner Quesada and Art de la Cruz, they had a big help in this, making this project thing. This thing is very close to me, Route 66. I was born and raised in Route 66 in Santa Rosa, New Mexico. My first job was a shoe shine boy at the Club Cafe, and I moved over here. I lived here for over 50 years in Albuquerque. My grandfathers, way back about 6, 7 generations, were all born here in Atrisco. So I feel very, very connected to this project, and like I say, it's very dear to me because Route 66 has always been a very important road for me and my family. I live in Camino Rael right now. I bought the old St. Anne's Church property 50 years ago, and I have me and my wife live there. So we're very connected to history of Albuquerque. And I also want to thank the city councilors on behalf of the board of the West Central Economic Development Corporation. You know, the city council, I would really want to thank them, Mayor Keller, for all the work they've done, the county commission, and the county manager, Julie Baca, all the work they've done, and of course the legislature. The legislature has really committed a lot of money, both the Senate and the House. And we really, really appreciate for that. And I just can assure you something, as I'm a board member of the corporation, but I'm also chairman of the County Planning Commission and been involved with a lot of planning on the unincorporated area. Thanks to Art de la Cruz appointed me when he first went in, and Quesada reappointed me to this commission. I also was chairman of the Planning Commission for the city of Albuquerque for 8 years. So this land is very, very dear to me and what's happening to it. And what's happening here on the west side is a shot in the arm for economic development. You know, we have Amazon going right over here up the hill. It's going to create like 15 to 2,000 jobs. So development in the unincorporated area is really starting to pick up. And I think this is going to be a center for the whole west side. So thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chavez, and I'm excited about Amazon. I'm hoping my stuff will come in a day now, or in an hour, with a drone, just like that. And drop it off, right? Is that what's going to happen? It's going to be big, right? Hey, look, 2,000 jobs on this side of town has never been really heard of before, so I think we should really celebrate that. Our next speaker is the Swan Treasurer, and he's a member of WCCDG community. He's the community liaison. Please welcome Jerry Gallegos.
Good morning, everyone. I would be remiss not to say what I'm going to say because today is Sunday. So before I say anything else, I want to thank the good Lord above for giving us this day. Thank you. I have been a member of this organization thanks to Clarissa and some arm bending from Johnny for some time. And you know what? I've so many years we've been struggling, doing whatever we can. We used to meet in the meeting rooms, beg people to come and check us out because we're good people here on this side of town. Dion's was one. We begged them. They came. They say if you build it, they will come. We're going to build a visitor center. They will be here. You guys, thank you for being here, and I want to thank all that had responsibility for making this project come to fruition. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for your service, Jerry. Not only here, but, you know, serving our country, so thank you very much. Jerry's the glue in our community. He's the one that's kept us all together all these years. Next, I want to introduce Al Otera and Twyla McComb. You know, I just want to say that, again, you know, we have them here listed as WCCDG board members, but Twyla now serves on our open space board, and she's fighting for preserving other property in our district as well. So I want to welcome up Al Otera and Twyla McComb.
Good morning, everybody, and I just want to say that I'm very honored to have been a small part of what's happening here today. But I just want to take a second to say that I moved to the Valley's been part of my life forever. My family all lived here. My dad worked at Gonzales and Sunset. I will never get over that they took Kmart out. But I just want to say that I came into this neighborhood and started in my neighborhood association. When Cherise talks about it being infectious, she's absolutely correct. When I became a part of my neighborhood association, I became interested in saving a piece of property called Crestview Bluff that we're still working on, and it'll probably be a 20-year project as well. I had a chance to talk to Clarissa Pena, and next thing I knew, I was at WCCDG meetings and having community breakfast, and then I was on the board of WCCDG, and then I went to the Open Space Advisory Board and then became chair there. And so now I spend tons and tons of time volunteering to try to make things better, not just in our neighborhoods, but in the city of Albuquerque. And I'm honored to do that. I can't even tell you how great it's been that everybody has brought me into this fold, and I have gotten so much more by working so hard to do things to make it better here. I love this neighborhood. I love these people. It's my family now. And so thank you guys very much, and I'm so excited that this is happening today. Thank you.
I grew up in Los Lunas. We had family in Winslow, Arizona, and every time that we would be coming back home, my dad made a point that we would come through Albuquerque. Several times we'd stop at 9 Mile Hill, we'd get out of the car, and he would tell us, no matter where you go, this will always be home. And through all my travels, he's absolutely right. Every time that I crest 9 Mile Hill and I look over the city and the city lights, I know that I'm home. I know that I'll always be safe, I'll always be comfortable here. I believe that this center is going to be the best thing not only for the citizens of Albuquerque, but for visitors who are coming to see us. Thank you.
So now I'd like to introduce another SWAN member and WCCDG board member, Ms. Becky Davis.
Well, I didn't have anything prepared because I was just going to come and hang out with La Familia and see this 20, 30-year project finally start to bloom. So that's it. West Side is my family, and this will be one of several crowning achievements for the West Side as we continue to work hard to build up our community. And thank all of the legislators, all of the councilors, everybody concerned with it, and every neighbor who has put in $5 of sweat, you name it. Keep doing it so that we can continue to build a beautiful community. Thank you.
Thank you, Becky. And I have a couple of announcements. I just really, first of all, want to introduce my policy analyst, Rachel Hernandez. I just want to say she's just doing a phenomenal job. And she, too, following Sharice's lead, is like, how do I start my neighborhood association? So, and then I also have an intern who is interning with me, and I'd like to introduce her. Her name is Serenity Rentaria Gutierrez. And she's you're at Manzano or El Dorado? El Dorado High School, and she's been interning with me, and I think she's getting the bug too. So with that, I actually, before I introduce this next young man, I just really appreciate all the car clubs that have been here today. You know, I don't know who they all are, but I know Rollers Only, La Familia, the Dukes, Drifters. You know, anytime we ask them to come out, they show, and I'm sure House will introduce the rest of them that I didn't acknowledge. But with that, I want to introduce another board member who is relatively new to the West Central Community Development Group, and his actual name is Lorenzo Otero. And I just want to say that he's just been a tremendous asset, you know, bridging that gap between the community and, you know, the perceptions that people have about our lowrider community. I just want to say that, you know, this guy has been an instrument. He's been a leader. He's been a community organizer to do just that, bringing the community together along with APD and the community policing model that we're doing. You know, there's a lot of information out there about what's not happening, but I can tell you there's a lot of good things happening in the Southwest Area Command. So, and with our lowrider community. So with that, I'd like to welcome my homie House.
29 beautiful long years. 29. Look at how beautiful this gente is. You have persistent gente that want to come out, that want to do things with the community, that want to be here, that want to bring things to Albuquerque, New Mexico, that want to show exactly how proud we are as Albuquerqueans and how we are over here. All my brothers from all the lowriding community, you look out there and you're represented out there. You have Brother Frank from the Dukes. Brother Frank is I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but he's a Hall of Famer. Hall of Famer known worldwide. My brother Joe Romero. He brings Artemis Promotions. We're bringing the Lowrider Super Show back to Albuquerque, New Mexico. We've been doing it for the last 6-7 years, pre-COVID, but now it's coming back again. We have a group of gente, low vision. You have people here from the Drifters, from everywhere. This car community is solid. They're together. Juntos, you know, and what juntos means is together. And together we can accomplish anything. 29 years later, they're breaking ground. And here in a couple of minutes, when all this goes up and all said and done, the beautiful, beautiful thing about this is we're going to be able to show everybody from all over the world exactly what Albuquerque, New Mexico, what Route 66, and what our cultura is all about. So in that saying, I want to thank Clarissa and Johnny and everybody who brought me on, all the brothers from the lowriding community, Brother Steve from Impalas. You know, Together, we can accomplish anything. Unidos, there's nothing that can stop us from moving forward. It takes a community to raise a village. It takes a village to raise a community. Together, we can accomplish everything. Thank you.
All right, yeah, so I also would like to thank, well, first of all, my wife, Cherise. She keeps me in line, and so that's why I'm able to do the things that I do. But also, really, I cannot operate my office without my assistants, Chelsea Powers and Margarita Archiveque, who work in my office. And trust me, I have a very large district. We have a lot of things that we have to deal with. Each part of my district has its own distinct, different needs. So we can't just use one paintbrush to fix, the challenges in my district. We have here the Southwest Mesa, we have the South Valley, we have the Country Club area, we have downtown, we have South Broadway, we have Barreras, we have San Jose, we have Mesa del Sol all the way up, and then we go all the way to the Isleta Pueblo, and then we go all the way up here to Route 66. It's a huge district, so thank you guys for the work that you do. I just wanted to make sure that you were thanked because you helped organize this today, and you did a fantastic job. So I'd also like to introduce right now another SWAN and WCCDG Vice President, Geraldine Ulibarri.
Good morning, everyone. Is it still morning? Wow, what a beautiful day it is out here, and just so proud to be here as the Vice President of the Southwest Alliance of Neighbors and WCCDG. As discussed in previous comments, we have been planning this for many, many years as at SWAN tables and just small little offices, and today it's just so exciting to have everyone here. I'm very happy to be here. During the pandemic, I would leave my house once in a while and take a little cruise and go up here to the top of 9 Mile Hill and just look at the views and go down and go all the way down Route 66 and just enjoy what we have developed and everything that we've done here. So I appreciate everyone here. Thank you to everyone, and I look forward to working with everyone. Thank you.
So we're nearing the end. Next, I'd like to introduce Mr. Chris Baca from Enterprise Builders.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for inviting us. It's exciting to hear all the great stories that everyone kind of talked about today. I myself, I'm actually a West Sider. I grew up in the Southwest and went to West Mesa, so I kind of know what it is to have something out here, so it's pretty exciting. I wanted to also introduce some of my team that's here. Jared Vigil, he's the project manager. Jim Peterson will be the project superintendent, and also Joe's here. They'll be integral to completing this project in 13 months starting Monday. So again, we're extremely excited to be a part of this project. We look forward to working with the county, Bernalillo County, and Mullen Heller Architects. And again, thank you, and see you guys in 13 months.
Okay, and then before we introduce our last speaker, or we have a few more?
No, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Okay, so before we introduce our last speaker, I want to thank Bernalillo County, all the staff from Bernalillo County, all the hard work that you did, all the people who've supported me on this project, from our deputy directors, Elias, Mr. Grady back there. They've supported this project. When I took over for Art de la Cruz, they said, "Hey, we're all on board. We're going to follow it through." And without forgetting Miss Julie Morgus Baca, our great county manager, who really stood behind me and made sure that we carried this forward. So I just wanted to make sure I thanked everybody, because this was a big event, and it took a lot of people to make it happen. So I'll turn it over, or do you want me to? I'm just going to introduce Michelle Mueller.
Michelle with Mullen.
Oh, Mullen. Michelle with Mullen. with Mullen Heller. Michelle, they didn't write down your name.
So hi, good morning, and we're happy to be here. Just a real quick story about letting everyone know this was not like any other project in New Mexico we've ever experienced at Mullen Heller in the past 20 years. So in 2017, Bernalillo County selected Mullen Heller Architecture to lead the design team. And we were quite honored. We didn't know the whole history that everyone has so eloquently talked about here today. We just loved our city and we're dying to use our talents to be part of the project. So Bernalillo County staff handed us two things. It was a plat of 4.5 acres of undeveloped site out on West Central, and then a paragraph on a piece of paper. And the paragraph contained a list of rooms and spaces that should be part of the visitor center. And we were told to figure it out. That was our roadmap. So 3 years ago, we had a first brainstorming session with the hardworking West Central Community Development members, elected officials, and county staff and others. And we quickly learned that that paragraph on paper represented decades of enthusiasm and hard work and great ideas. And we were so happy to learn we weren't going to be alone on this adventure. And that very day, infectious. It was infectious. On that very day, the attitude in that room was infectious. We jumped on board. We were so excited. So we put on our driving gloves and strapped on those goggles and hit the road with the design team. And let me tell you, there were numerous twists and terrifying turns along the road. We exceeded that speed limit so many times, but no casualties. We're happy, no casualties, and along the way, we enjoyed the beauty of the community. And so here we are, coming over the hill, and just like seeing the bright lights for the first time, we get to see construction coming out of the ground. And we are so excited. So you dream big out here. You guys did it. Congratulations.
I think we're pretty much, I just want to. So thank you. And as you can see, we really had to acknowledge a lot of people. This took a long time to get here. So I appreciate your patience with us this morning. I'm just going to make a few more announcements as we wrap it up. And where's the commissioner? I just want to, first of all, I want to start off with Commissioner Quesada, and just to say that, you know, I couldn't have a better partner being elected into office, and then Commissioner Quesada coming on board. I mean, just like Commissioner De La Cruz, I don't know where he's at. Where is he at? Oh, he's back here. I just want to say that, you know, the city and the county in the Southwest area is both city and county. It's very checkerboard, and it's really a challenge to get things done. So in order to do that, you know, you really have to work together and partner and just really resolve that no matter what it takes, we have to work together to get it done. So I really want to thank you, Commissioner Quesada. I really appreciate your partnership. Then I just want to a couple more announcements. I want to say, you know, to La Familia Car Club, you know, they've been there since the beginning. All the lowriders, again, that were here today, I really appreciate you being here. I want to thank the Water Authority, Mr. Mark Sanchez. Without him, we wouldn't have gotten the infrastructure to get here today. I want to say happy birthday to Larry Gallegos because he's taking his birthday to be here today. So happy birthday, Larry. I want to thank the county staff, right? Because this is a county project. All the money that the state and the city transferred over to the county to get this done. And I know it's been a challenge, it's been a little bit of a hurdle, but I really want to thank all the county staff for helping make this come to fruition. I want to thank all the county staff that is here today. I really appreciate you and everything that you've done to make this day such an awesome event. And then I want to also thank, I don't know where she's at, but Lisa Manuel. Where's Lisa? There's Lisa. I just want to thank Lisa. We've given her the hardest time she's ever had. You know that we gave her such a hard time that she actually got a promotion. So, and then I just want to, I want to end with my family. You know, this work takes a lot of time away from your family. And I just want to say how much I appreciate all my kids are here today. I know county staff's looking around and saying, who are those 100 people gathered together? Well, they're in their family node over there. But I just love you guys tremendously. My mom's here. I love you, Mom, so much. I really appreciate you. And then my husband, Johnny, I just want to say you're just such an amazing person to put up with me. I am you think I'm a pain in the ass to all the elected officials? Imagine what a pain in the ass I am to my husband. So thank you, babe. I love you with all my heart. And again, thank you, Mayor Keller. Without you, we couldn't have made this happen. Thanks for all the pushing and shoving that you've done. So thank you. With that, Commissioner Quesada.
Yeah, I also would be remiss if I didn't thank, you know, my partner in crime, the person that really motivates me, Johnny. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I had to do that, Johnny. I had to. No, Councilor Pena is the epitome of a true community leader that has come up from the community and finally got fed up with not being able to be successful as a community member and put her ring in the hat and became an elected official and still had that same fierceness, that same drive, that same commitment to the community. She's really the reason why we're here. We just went behind her. We said, it's like getting in a fight and sending your best fighter up forward, going, Gorale, you go first. And if you need help later, we'll jump in. But if you could do it on your own, that's cool too. And that was Clarissa. And so eventually we realized that we had to get behind her and we had to jump in and that we had to make sure that this came to fruition. Thank you again, Clarissa, for your partnership. Thank you, Mayor. For hanging in with us and believing in us, and everybody else who came here and realized I should have brought sunscreen. Thank you for coming. We appreciate you. And now we're going to break the ground for the second time.
Okay, you guys ready for your countdown? I know Michael Padilla did the last one. Senator Padilla started at 66. We're not going to go there. But if you guys that are standing out here in the crowd, if you guys can help us, we want to be loud and proud. We want everybody across Albuquerque from 9 Mile Hill all the way up to the top of Sandia Crest, hear the excitement that is happening here today. So if you guys can help me count down at the very top of your lungs in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hi, everyone. My name is Miguel Maestas, and I'm honored to share a few words at this very happy occasion of the virtual groundbreaking for the West Central Route 66 Visitor Center. As a past executive director of the West Central Community Development Group, I was privileged to participate with members of the West Central community to advocate for investment and projects as part of building a vibrant economic future for the West Side. This visitor center is so magnificent in and of itself. It will be a beautiful gateway into our city and a point of pride for our entire state. It is also so important to point out how significant the West Central Route 66 Visitor Center is for the continued development of the West Central community. This is an important investment in a part of our city that has been historically underserved. It will be an anchor that supports the equitable economic development efforts and growth of our West Side community. I want to express a huge gratitude to our elected officials for their support of this project. But most of all, we must acknowledge the West Central community and those community members, many of them who are no longer with us, who have worked and advocated and organized for decades to build our beloved community. Thanks to you, we now see this dream become a reality. Thank you. Mil gracias.